For 3.5 years, we've been listening to the pissing and moaning and whining and bitching of the Republican Party about how the 2020 presidential election was stolen, how there was election fraud, and how Donald Trump should still be president. All this in spite of the fact that there has yet to be one shred of evidence proving that point. In fact, there are some officials that suggest that the 2020 election was the most secure in the history of this country. Now, that said, I'm not so certain there wasn't an election stolen, but it wasn't 2020, it was 2016. Now, just hear me out here. Remember back in 2016, here's something we know for a fact. We know for a fact that Russia meddled in the 2016 election. We know for a fact they did it to benefit Donald Trump. That actually happened. We also know about another situation. Remember when James Comey, director of the FBI, came out with a report on Hillary Clinton very close to the election? Seemed very opportune, and it was about Hillary's emails. Now, this surprises me because, as I understood it, the DOJ has a policy not to do something like that close to the election, but in this case, they did it. Well, of course, they investigated this thing, and once again, no evidence was found, no indictments were issued, nothing was ever done. Hillary was completely cleared of it. Well, that's the good news, but the problem is it tainted her going into the election, and that was the intent. They knew nothing was there. They were just trying to taint Hillary going into the election, and guess what? It worked. And then we have this little court case that's going on in New York currently, Donald Trump's criminal trial. We have David Pecker, the former publisher of the National Enquirer, on the stand. And we're finding out some interesting things. We're finding out that David Pecker and Donald Trump had a little scam going, where any bad news that was coming about Donald Trump, they would catch it, they would kill it, and nobody would ever hear it. Again, trying to affect the election. But they didn't stop there. They didn't just stop there. They also fabricated stories to put out against Donald Trump's opponents, like Ted Cruz or Hillary Clinton. When you look at all these factors, you have to wonder, was the 2016 election stolen? Is Donald Trump, or was Donald Trump, ever a legitimate president? I think that's up for debate, certainly more debate than what happened in 2020, because nothing happened in 2020 except that Donald Trump got his ass kicked. And that's what I think he was pissed off about. He was trying to cheat in 2020, but this time it didn't work. But forget about 2020. What about 2016? Shouldn't we look into that? Because if Donald Trump was never the legitimate president, why are we fucking around now? Why isn't he just in jail and forgotten where he belongs?